tour of California. Last we left off, we were at Santa Maria. And let me bring up the chart over here. So here's Santa Maria. And I got a little flight. This is going to be a really short one here. We're just going to fly out over to the beach here. This is actually Pebble Beach out in this area. Actually, I think it's like right there. Then we're going to turn inland here a little bit, fly over San Luis Obispo, and head over to Paso Robles. Should be just a short flight, probably like 20 minutes or so. More really sightseeing right along the coast there. So let's go ahead and jump in the plane. We'll use our checklist this time, I think. Let's take our chocks off and get our checklist up here for reference. All right, landing gear is down and permanently locked. Parking brake is set. Avionics are off. Mixtures idle cutoff. And we can see that down here. Master switch is off. Battery switch on. So let's go ahead and hit that battery switch on. There we go. Fuel gauges, check our quantity. We're just below 10 on each side, so plenty of fuel for this short flight. An actuator panel, check. They're all lit up and we can push it. We get at the beep. Battery switch off. All right, flight controls, check for correct operation. We'll say they are checked. Flap handle. And that's working there. Let me go ahead and just make sure that I've got my sound set up properly here. Yes, I do not. All right, there we go. Now you should be able to hear that. Wow, that's loud. All right, let me go ahead and turn that down just a little bit. Okay, so flaps are good. Let's take a look at our trim tab here. We'll set that right about there, just on the bottom of the N. Baggage door is closed. We can bring that up over here and make sure that our baggage door is closed. Flaps and ailerons. This is the walk around, so it's kind of like we're outside walking around. We're checking that. Wingtip and lights are undamaged. Tie downs removed. Fuel tanks, check the levels. Chocks removed. Tow bars removed and stowed. Engine compartment door. We're going to check the oil in it and then close it. And then we're going to click on that. Propeller, no nick stings or anything like that. Landing light looks like it's good, not burnt out. Fins all look good. Rudders all look good. Stabilator and trim tab look good. Tail cone looks good. Let's go to the next checklist here. All right, so parking brake before start. Let me move that out of the way. All right, so parking brake is set. Circuit breakers are all in. And we can see that all over here. We got something popped out. Let's take a look. What did we pop out over there? Nav 1. All right, let's punch that back in. Good thing, that's why we got a checklist. Carburetor heat is off, so that is right there. Avionics are all off. We can zoom out here just a little bit and make sure that they're all off. So transponder is off. We'll turn off the radios over here. Those are off. ADF is off. All right, fuel selector on desired tank. We'll come down over here. We'll go to the left tank. Well, okay, right tank. Next page, engine start. All right, so throttle open, 1/2 inch, alternator switch on, battery switch on, fuel pump on. Make sure rich and idle cutoff, which is weird because I just leave it on rich. Propeller area clear and starter engage. Nobody's sitting out there. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. There we go. And the mixture is rich. Engine started. Yes, it is started, and we can see we've got oil pressure coming up, and oil. It's fuel pressure. Oil pressure is coming up in the green. Temperature is still cold. Magneto is on both. Throttle is adjusted. That's the adjust right here. So we're just going to throttle back a little bit. Oil pressure, like I said, we've checked that, and 1000 RPM. Alright, taxi area clear. Parking brake is going to get released. We're going to apply the throttle. We're going to check the brakes and the steering. And then we'll do our ground check run up. So let's go ahead and put everything back on here for our controls. And let's see, there's a little bit of cloud around here. We'll put the it's a little dark here. We'll put the lights on inside the cockpit, and we'll put our strobes on, and let's check our weather here. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and restart my scripts here. That'll take just a second. Sometimes when I start my simulator, the script does not start up like that. So winds are 0.50 at 4, so not a lot of wind here. So let's see, where are we? Let's pop out of the airplane and have a look-see around here. Alright, so you can see we got winds coming in this direction, so we probably want to take off right there. So we'll go ahead and taxi right around this way. Or I guess we can go down this way, over to this end of the runway. Alright, let's pop back in the airplane and start our taxi here. Now before we taxi, I'm going to go ahead and lean out my mixture here a little bit. Alright, parking brake is off. We'll apply some power. We'll check our steering, check our brakes. Yep, all look good. So we will be taking off to the, well, sort of east, so we'll make a left turn after departure. And head out over the beach and have a look-see there. And I think we'll come around this side right here. There, we'll do our run up over here, and then and get on runway 30. It's actually, yeah, we're actually departing, yeah, and my DG's not set. That's why I had my heading off a little bit. All right. Let's bring our parking brake back on over here and get our checklist back. Alright, parking brake is set, throttle 2000. So let me get rid of this so we can see that. Alright, there we go. We are at 2000 magnetos. We're going to check the left. Go back to both, check the right, go back to both. That looks good. Vacuum pressure over here looks good, within that range. Oil pressure is in the green, and oil temperature is now starting to come up. An actuator panel, yep, that looks good. Carburetor heat check, it is off. Fuel pump off, which is kind of weird because you normally bring it to on, but we're just checking the fuel pressure to make sure that the fuel pressure stays green. Alright, then we're going to put it back on. Fuel pressure checks, throttle retard, and we're still running. Go to the before takeoff checklist. So battery master is on, alternators on, flight instruments checked. Alright, let's set that over here. Now our altitude here is 261 feet, so I'm just going to use that as a reference instead of looking up the altimeter. There's 200, 250, 261. Pretty close right there. Okay, so that's set. Horizon looks good. We are about 170 here. So let's go ahead and set our heading right about there. Just a little bit back. Alright, other than that, everything looks good. Fuel selector, we're on. Fuel pump on. Engine instruments are checked, we're still good. We're gonna go mixture rich. Flaps are set, they're off. Trim tab is set. Controls are free. Door is latched. Let's go ahead and latch that door. And we're ready for takeoff. So at takeoff, we're gonna line up on the runway. Flaps, trim, throttle up. We're going to rotate, actually we're going to rotate around 70. Initial climb, where we're going to actually climb up about 80. Altitude, apply brakes, and retract flaps. We're not going to be using any. Alright, so we're ready for departure here. Let's get our yoke back in here and turn our landing light on. Get our view squared up here and parking brake off. Let's go ahead and get out of here. And as always, I'll turn down the volume a little bit after we depart on the engines. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to check one more thing on my sound here. This gyro pump always just drives me bananas. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off right now, or turn it down right now. So we got a little bit of a tailwind here, but not much. Let me just double check my volume. Yeah, gyro pump. Making sure I did the right one there. Alright, and the last thing we do here is actually turn our radios on. So let's go to altitude on our transponder. We'll turn COM 2 on. COM 1's already on here. We're ready to go. Let's power up and stay on the center line. Tailwind here, but plenty of runway. Wasn't much of my airspeed. Alright, we're off the ground. Let me go ahead and bring the volume down there a little bit so it's not so loud. And we're pretty much on our heading here for where we're going to go. We're going to stay out of the clouds, so we'll see. We'll see how high they are. I think we can pretty much stay at about 2,500 feet or so and still be good. So we are heading out over towards Pismo Beach, and then we're going to kind of turn inbound here and head for our destination. Again, we're not climbing up very high. Just going to take a look at Pismo Beach. There's some dunes here, a lot of stuff to look at right along the beach there. So it's the Guadalupe something or other Dunes National Wildlife Refuge. So we're going to fly over that and hopefully not fly into any of the birds. And there you can see the dunes already right over here just ahead of us. See if we can get up a little bit higher. Again, I'll turn down that sound there a little bit. take a look at these sand dunes as we come up to Pismo Beach. Alright, there's 3,500. I don't know if we're going to make it up to 4,500. Go ahead and throttle back here a little bit. And we can go ahead and lean our mixture out. Turn our landing light off. Kind of a rainy, hazy day here. There were some rain showers passing through the area today. Looks like we're just about at the bases of these clouds, so we'll see if we can get up a little bit closer to 4,500. And while I've got some water in view here, I forgot to do is turn on my reflectivity. There we go. Put a little wave action in there. Makes the water look a lot nicer at the expense of a few frames. And so here's all these this beach sand dunes. Not a very nice day to be at the beach today. Yeah, maybe we will get up to 4,500. Looks like these clouds are kind of lifting up here along our route, so we'll hold it 4,500, drop the nose, go ahead and throttle back, get down to about 2650 on our RPM. As we take a look at some of those dunes. A little bit of a wind shift there. There's a good shot of them. I'm going to adjust up here for a level flight. Trim my rudder a little bit. And we can kill the fuel pump right now. And the airport that we've got right down below us there, this little guy right here, and this is Pismo Beach, by the way, right there, right at the end of the beach here. Anyway, that airport is Oceano. I'll bring that up for you so you can take a look at it. And there you see it right there in the center of the screen. We're going to fly right over the top of it, and then we'll head out and around, or over San Luis Obispo, and then start our descent here into Paso Robles. I always have trouble saying that for some reason. I tend to want to roll my R's. Alright, double check my RPM a little bit there. Get trimmed up and try to stay at our altitude. And there's Pismo Beach down below us, just up ahead. So at just past the beach here, we're going to fly about 255 for a heading. Or correction, 355. Also getting dyslexic here. There we go. There's a good view of those dunes. Got to be a nice place if you got like an ATV or a little dune buggy. And there's Pismo Beach down below us. Let's do a flyby. Every time I ever drive up this way and go through Pismo Beach, I'm always reminded of the old Bugs Bunny cartoon where he kind of pops out of the ground in someplace and he's like, this ain't Pismo Beach. And that's where he was heading. I must be showing my age by referencing that because that's pretty old. Alright, we'll just head for the shore here again, and then turn around Pismo Beach here, head inland across this little peninsula. And there's the airport. That's San Luis Obispo. We're basically just going to come around this side right here. We'll follow this roadway here. And I think our airport is right down there someplace. Bring my power up just a little bit there. It sounded like it was a little bit low. Hey, thought it was going to get sunny here for a little bit. Nope. As our weather updated. So come around to a heading of about 355. Should take us straight into Paso Robles. So it looks like we fly right over the mountains there. Pretty much like I said, just follow this road, almost kind of just to the left of it, and that will take us right to the airport. Let's take a look at our GPS here. We'll zoom out a little bit. And there you can just see our airport coming into view. Go up one more. Basically where the VOR is. Leave it right there. The VOR is at the airport. as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and bring up our map here, and we'll tune in view R1. Here's our route. Took off from there. Came across the beach right here, and we're heading right there. Let's tune view R1 to that. That'll help us center up on it. And we got our 2. We'll just fix that. So yeah, right around 350 should take us into the airport there. Kind of turning a little bit too far to the right here, and climbing. Not sure what the winds are here, but it's a pretty straight shot to the airport here. Not worried about getting blown off course or anything like that. Just taking a look at the scenery. Goodbye, Pismo Beach. Oops, don't know what I hit there. A lot of nice scenery flying around California, so I thought I'd do this little series of flights in the Just Flight Piper Warrior 2. Go ahead and get on our course here a little bit. Keep drifting off to the right. That's okay, we're just having a fun time taking a look at some of the scenery here. Let's jump out on the tail here and see what it looks like. Lots of mountains and beach and farmland, grasslands. Lots of neat stuff to look at here in California. Let's jump back in the plane here and get back on our heading. I gotta trim my rudder a little bit. I think I keep drifting off to the right a little bit. And as soon as we get over these couple little small ridges, we'll start our descent down. As you can see, we're pretty much heading right for the airport here. Let's go ahead and tune our ATIS there. So let's see what we got here. We'll come over here, zoom into the airport, and let's take a look at this. Try to stay level there. We got an ASOS on there, 132.17. Otherwise, it's uncontrolled airfield. So 132.17. Let's go ahead and tune that in and see what their weather looks like. 132. There's 17. Let me see if we can get up to 17. There we go. Great. 132.17. As we climb out. Come to, yep, okay. Not getting anything on that, so we'll just play it by ear. Alright, we're going to go ahead and power back and start our descent here. Doing a few little turns around the mountains here. Let's see if we can see the airport up ahead. I see the beacon right there. White, green, white, green. Okay. And let's go ahead and let's bring our checklist up and see what we got here for arrival. So we already climbed out, we're already cruising, we're doing descent. Power as required, throttle apply every 1500 feet. Got it. Alright, landing and approach, fuel selector on fuel tank, fuel pump on. Let's go ahead and do that now. Mixture is going to get set. Flaps are going to get set and trim's going to get set. Pretty straightforward checklist, I think. Except we got some clouds right here. A little bit of turbulence right over here, so it's a little bit lower here. Just head right for the beacon. And we don't know what the winds are like down there, so we'll have to eyeball it. And double checking my RPM, making sure we're at about 2500 for our descent. We'll go ahead and turn our landing light on at this time. So we could be getting some bumps here just because we're kind of coming over the backside of the mountains right here. Let's see where else we can get some weather. Unfortunately, that ASOS is not working, but we're going to take a look at the OB. I've got that here, and it says winds are 100 at 14 knots. So we're kind of going to go by that. So that would mean, well, we could take, let's see, 100 would mean out of there. So we're going to kind of fly around to the left of the airport and then enter a downwind for whatever this runway is. Let's take a look at the diagram. Not what I wanted to do. On my other screen here as I descend down. There we go. Bring up the airport diagram here. And I'll show you on the screen in a second as we descend through some of those thin clouds. Alright, so here's the airport diagram. Winds out of 100. So we're going to land on runway 13. So we're going to come around the side here and land runway 13 right there. Might get a little bumpy here. Alright, so let's take a look over here. Where's our airport? I know we kind of slid off to the side of it here, bumping around a little bit. It's got a little bit clearer, but a little bit bumpier. And this is where a GPS comes in handy. Okay, so about 360. We should see the airport. I don't see the beacon anywhere. I think that's it right there. Let me zoom around here. My goodness, it's bumpy. Alright, well, we're going to turn here. We want to stay out of this airspace, so we're going to turn right, head right for the airport based on our GPS here. We're going to be landing runway 13. So looking at this, we should be heading right for it. Guessing this is it down here. It's kind of cluttered up in everything though. Oh, there we go. I see a runway right there. So it's sort of a little bit farther out than I thought it was. So we'll stay at 2,500. The field elevation is 800 feet. So add 1,000 to that, about 1,800 for pattern altitude. And just for reference, we'll go ahead and zoom this down a little bit. There we go. Stay on the right side of the freeway right here. That should keep us out of some of the restricted airspace here. That's Camp Roberts. It's a California Air National Guard training facility. I spent much time there. Sorry for a bumpy ride here. Getting ourselves kind of slowed up here for this turbulent approach. So it looks like we're going to enter a base leg, a right base for runway 13 here. So we're not landing on this runway right here, we're landing on the crossing runway. So we can get a better look at this airport. So that's our runway is right there. On the right side of this runway is where the other runway starts. It goes down this way. Power up a little bit, and I'm getting a little tired of this turbulence myself here. I want to climb. At least it's a nice clear day. At least over here. I left the showers behind. I think I ended up climbing a little bit there, so let's go ahead and power off, start our descent down here. Get back down to about 1,800 feet here. That should put us in a good position for our base entry here. Actually, we're kind of on a 45-degree for downwind, really. Getting a little bit of up and down drafts here. Alright, I'm going to go one notch of flaps here, help us get slowed up, stabilized a little bit. Power back, and let's head on down for Paso Robles here. Now we'll go ahead and turn and kind of enter a base leg here. We're going to have a very short final. And hopefully the winds are what the winds are in real life here. Now normally in real life what I would do is you take a look at you look at the trees, you look at bodies of water, you look at you know, whatever you can see on the ground and get an indication of what the winds are doing. But obviously this scenery is static other than the windsock, and we can't see that yet. Alright, second notch of flaps. And I'm gonna head right over for this little stream or whatever it is. And then it looks like I'm at turn final as soon as I reach it. Trying to maintain about 80 knots here. And go full flaps. And start turning final. Basically just going to follow this little stream right until I'm lined up. Yeah, this is another fun approach. Let's take a look at that windsock there off to the side. We'll see what we got. Hopefully it's similar to what was in real life. No, got a crosswind here. No wonder it's tossing me around. Okay, we'll do a crosswind landing here. Pretty stiff too. Keep my power up just a little bit, and I'm going to kick it out as soon as we land in this crab. There we go. Get her wing down. Whoa, not pretty. Kind of hard to do with my joystick, my rudder. I don't have rudder pedals, so what I'm doing is I'm using the twist action of my joystick for my rudder. Sometimes gets a little funky. Anyway, welcome to Paso Robles. Hope you enjoyed that little sightseeing tour. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button to get notified. I've got a couple of these videos popping up pretty much every day for the next week or so. Yeah, don't see like we've got any kind of a taxiway or ramp here, so we're just going to go ahead and power back, and we'll go ahead and stop here, turn into the wind, and probably end up taxiing back here on the runway. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Until next time, bye.